Hello there. Welcome to another interview. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're watching this. Um, Today we have Allison as our guest for this interview, and she agreed to talk with me for a little bit. So let's get to it.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes. Oh my God, I am so excited. I miss
I know. I
much.
know. I miss you too.
And thank you for saying yes to this
Of
the little
course.
thing I have going on because
Yeah. Oh, this is fun.
there's nothing else to do. So let's just talk to each other.
Very true.
um, First things first, I will just give you a bunch of random questions.
hmm
Um, and it's just a conversation.
Okay.
It's
Sounds
just a
good. I can
conversation.
do that.
Nothing too deep. Nothing too formal. It's just
Gotcha.
here to talk. But again, first things first. What do you have for breakfast today?
I actually had leftovers. I know I'm not one of those people who like has breakfasty foods for breakfast.
Me neither. Don't
Right.
worry.
Like I'm like very savory kind of in the morning. So I had leftovers and we had like barbecue-ish food last
Ooh.
night. So I had like a roll and some pulled pork and like mashed potatoes and that kind of thing. It was kind of like a brunch type thing because I really didn't eat my first meal until I'd been awake for a while. So like it wasn't really until like almost noon that I ate. So
I am the same way. Don't worry. I completely get you. I am not a breakfast person. I can eat pizza whenever I wake up. I can eat I can go out and eat something like a full meal for breakfast.
yeah. Like, and that, I don't know, some people think it's really weird that I don't eat like really breakfasty foods for breakfast. I like breakfast foods, but I usually just want something like more substantial because I'm like hungry in the morning.
Yeah, everyone wakes up, well, not everyone, but most people are hungry in the morning. I don't know how I have friends that they can deal with just coffee and toast. I'm like, what is that?
Mm,
What is
no.
I know I can't do that. I know sometimes yes, sometimes I don't even eat breakfast. Maybe I'm in a rush or something and I'll just wait until lunch. But if I'm eating something.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be like a big thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I do love like it's weird that it was today of all days because even like during this quarantine, I've been really good about making myself like a bagel sandwich or like something breakfasty, you know what I mean? And like I had like turkey sausages and stuff like that. But it just so happened today I was like throwing all caution to the wind and going right for the leftovers.
So the first question will be, would you rather be bald or covered with hair head to toe?
Bald. I
Would
feel like I could rock that look.
I mean, you have wigs.
Right,
You can
wigs.
use
I feel like that's
wigs.
super easy,
Why
yeah.
wouldn't? And then you don't have to shave your legs. You don't have to shave
Mm-mm.
anything. You don't like.
No, yeah, definitely wigs. That's the only answer for sure.
Yeah. Do you have lunch with Adele or Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga. I love Adele. Trust me, I love Adele, but I love Lady Gaga more. I think she's just like such a symbol of like I just think she's a legend. So
Yeah.
Lady Gaga.
I mean, I agree. I feel maybe I would choose Adele
hmm
just because she is more calm, not calm, but more like I don't know if you, I don't know how to express it.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's one of the things that I'd like to see if Lady Gaga's like craziness is just kind of like her public persona and not who she actually is. I'd like to see that.
And
Um,
I would like to see if Adele is really this calm, serene,
mhm.
neutral person, like she projects herself to be, and like very private. Is
Yeah.
will it be the same way if you like go on for lunch?
That's true. Like, I feel like I could be friends with Adele, and I don't know if, like, I mean, I would want to be friends with Lady Gaga. I just don't know if I'm cool enough to be friends with Lady Gaga.
I if you look at like if you're in high school, Adele is more relatable, and Lady Gaga could be like the main cheerleader that you would want her to know your name. so she does
Yeah.
best with you, but you're not necessarily friends.
Yeah. No, I feel definitely like that.
So if you were to be in a fight, not a physical fight necessarily, just a discussion, a very agitated discussion, something like that, but you're being filmed because this is a movie for like your movie is part
Uh-huh.
of your of you. What would be your fight song? As in the song that will be playing in the background while you're like very agitated, the very epic, dramatic moment.
Oh my gosh. That's such a hard question. I feel like there's so many good, like, high
I'm gonna
energy.
I'm gonna give you my option. I would always choose a very acoustic, very soft version of Barbie Girl by Aqua.
See, I feel like my mind immediately went to something like booming. Like I feel like because my like anger, even if I like come off as very like contained, like inside it's like crazy. So I feel like something with like a really like maybe something from like the Black Panther soundtrack. Like something
Ooh,
like a fight, like a warrior, like something with like a
like
strong
with the strong like the drums and the
yes.
oh my god, yes. So if you could learn any language fluently, which one would it be?
I mean, I feel like I would definitely want to be better at Spanish. Like because I just feel like it has the reach to be able to communicate with the most people. Um, I think like I have some level of competency in Spanish, but not where I want it to be. So, but if that doesn't already count, I would say maybe like ASL. I think it's just such a
Ooh.
beautiful like it just looks really nice to see and just to watch, and I think it kind of can even speak like and break boundaries of even just like other spoken languages. Like it kind of excels past that. So I think maybe that.
Um, if a pinwing, if a penguin walks in right now into your room wearing a sombrero, what would he say and why is he there?
I feel like he would be like I think he probably escaped from like I mean I'm in Florida right now and like after watching Tiger King I feel like everyone in Florida just has these like secret zoos in their backyard, so I feel like it would have escaped from someone's like private zoo. I feel like he would be offering me margaritas, hence the sombrero. And I would probably like say yes to some.
What would you eat for your last meal?
Oh my, I actually think about this quite a lot. I think I would eat just like a giant bowl of pasta with like a bunch of delicious stuff in it. You know what I
Oof.
mean? Like fresh mozzarella and like fresh basil and like sausage and Parmesan cheese all over it. Like I think that's what I would go for.
And it would be like freshly made pasta.
Oh
Just
yeah.
off. Like super like this is like all fresh, all good.
Yeah.
That would
And
be
it would
so
be
good.
and a breadstick, like a giant breadstick.
um, which holiday would you erase from every calendar?
Probably Columbus Day. I think
You know, some people have said that. I thought
yeah.
it was gonna be like, oh, Easter, or like one person said Valentine's Day, and I get it, sure, but people have said Columbus Day, and I totally
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, I think it's just like the idea of like we keep upholding and like honoring this man who didn't do as much good as maybe we like to remember. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like I totally support when people are like we should make it, you know, Indigenous Persons Day, and like that to me seems more on point with the future and not just kind of like honoring this guy who wasn't a great guy.
Um, do you think you're brave?
Um, it depends. I think probably yes in certain things. Like I think I say things that are brave because I don't have the good sense not to say it.
Yeah.
um, but I wouldn't say I'm reckless. You know what I mean? Like some people would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm brave because I like jump out of a helicopter or whatever." You know what I mean? Like things like that. I don't think I'm that reckless. But brave,
I
sure.
mean, technically brave is not the same as reckless. So thank you for making the distinction, because there are two, like, yes, maybe someone reckless is also some kind of brave.
Uh-huh.
But those are two very separate things, very different things. Because to speak your mind, you have to be brave to speak your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Even the tiniest thing coming out of your mouth, you're brave just for saying what you mean, what you think. No.
Right.
So if you could make a new law, any law, and it will happen 100%, what would it be and why?
Oh my gosh. Um, I mean, I like there are a lot of things kind of already happening in politics now that I totally would get behind, or things that I wouldn't get behind. Um, I think like one that I would put out there, I guess, is that I would make like period products for women either free or tax free. Just because I think it's like one of those like kind of simple things that is attainable, possibly at least making it without the heavy taxes and like qualifying it as an essential item. I think we'd start there. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd be like, okay, I make hunger illegal, you know what I mean? Or like homelessness, like, is something that I really wish that we could just provide like affordable housing for more people. But I think that's one of those things that I could be like, I think that we could reasonably like take a tax off of this item that is essential for people who menstruate.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely fair, and it is true, and it's not fair. There we go.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
it's true what you're saying, and it is not fair because you need it.
Right.
And it's
And that's just something I'm just like, that gets me so heated. I'm just like, I see like they're putting together like care packages for people who are homeless and things like that. And like for me, whenever we did like food drives in school, or like, we would go and like collect all these items to take to other areas or whatever, my mom would always pick up feminine hygiene products. And when I was little, I was like, ew, you know what I mean? Like, and she would always kind of tell us, she'd be like, no, like there are people who can't get this. Like, this is really, really important. And so now I kind of think back and be like, that's like as essential as food and toothpaste and things like that. So why are we talking about it like it's not?
Yeah. Um, would you rather go to space or to the bottom of the ocean?
The bottom of the ocean. For some reason, I have this anxiety about space. I don't know.
I I am scared of the ocean.
Yeah, I'm definitely also scared of the ocean, but like for some reason more so of space. And I think I would get really motion sick trying to go up into space. I don't think I would fare well in space.
Is someone having flashback from Mission Space? Maybe.
Honestly, Mission Space did this to
me. What's the last movie you saw?
I actually watched Midsommar the other day.
I have not seen it.
It's on Amazon Prime, and it's a scary movie, and it's kind of just like this psychological, creepy, gory look into this. I guess what would be a fictionalized version of a very real festival that happens in Sweden, in the middle of the summer, and it was just so spooky, and it had Florence Pugh in it, who I'm like obsessed with. I love her. So I watched it finally after like kind of putting it off for months and months, and it totally held my attention. I was very into it. I loved it very much.
Sorry, what was the last show, like TV series show you watched?
So for the last couple of months, I've been watching House. And I don't really know why. Like every episode is pretty much the same, but I still pay attention to it, and I think it's like so formulaic that it's comforting in a weird way. So
I feel the same way about Bones. When I saw Bones, like the whole thing, every episode is exactly the same thing.
Right.
Died, you found the bones, she figures it out, someone gets arrested.
Exactly.
Next episode, that's it.
But it's so entertaining at the same time.
It is. I'm like, why am I watching this? But I can't stop watching it. You know?
Mm-hmm. And I have to like pace myself. I'm like, okay, you can only watch so many episodes because you're gonna run out.
Yeah, honestly. So I'm gonna give you a series of words and phrases, and you're gonna say the first thing that comes into your head. But first, before we do that, first I have to ask, from 1, and a scale from 1 to 10, how weird do you consider yourself? I consider myself a 7.3, around that area.
Yeah, I would say maybe like an 8. Or no, I don't know. It really depends. It depends on the company. Like I can be really weird around people that are also weird, but also I feel like I can kind of rein it in when I have to. So maybe like straddling that, like maybe like a 6 or an 8, we'll say.
Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna say something and you're gonna say the first thing that pops into your head. A color,
Red.
day of the week,
Wednesday.
number,
2.
a song,
My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
movie,
Top Gun.
animated movie,
Up.
TV show,
Uh, I'd never watched TV.
I
Once
mean,
Upon a
and
Time.
actor or actress,
Brad Pitt.
food,
Tacos.
musical.
Cats.
That's it. It's up to you to decide if you're a 7 or an 8 after those questions. Just look
Yeah, honestly.
and you'll
No, yeah, that was a very. I feel like if you were just looking at my answers, you would think I was like a 30-year-old woman in 1985. Like I feel like all like Top Gun. What?
Top Gun, Brad Pitt, Cats.
Cats.
But we love you no matter what, honey.
Yeah.
If you could play any instrument that you don't play right now, if you could play any instrument, which one would it be?
I'd say probably piano. I always really I tried to learn piano and it's so hard. Like I just do not have the motor skills that are required to play an instrument. But I mean, I'm either tempted to say acoustic guitar or piano, but I think having grown up in like musical theater and choir, it always was just the coolest thing to be a piano player. So I'm gonna say that.
What would you tell your younger self? How young would you talk to yourself, and what would you say?
I would say, I would talk to myself at like 14 or 15 and just be like, it's not that serious. You know what I mean? About everything, because I just like going back to myself in high school, like I really thought everything was life and death. And I thought like I was just so on edge and so anxious more than I've ever been since. And just to tell myself, like, it's not that serious. You're going to be okay. Take care of yourself. Think about getting on antidepressants. Just hang in there.
Yeah, important. Just chill a little. You'll get.
Yeah. Like you're gonna be fine.
What are you most afraid of?
I would say like losing family members. I think is because I have been through that and it sucks. So I would say that probably.
What's the best lie you were told when you were a kid and that you still remember?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the best one, but it's kind of funny. So basically, when I was little, I am a night owl. I've always been a night owl. I don't know why. I just like to stay up really late. And so I remember, like, in order to get me to go to sleep, my parents would tell me that if I stayed up past midnight, I, like Cinderella's carriage, would turn into a pumpkin.
Oh.
And like I believed it for a really long time. I just like would not. I'd be like, oh my god, it's 11:50. I gotta go to sleep because like I'm gonna get turned into a pumpkin.
Oh no, that is traumatizing. God.
I know.
That is so sad. It is very funny, but I can just picture you being like, oh my god, it's 11:50. I need to
I know. I'd be like
what song do you know all the words to?
Oh my gosh, I would say like a lot of show tunes. Pretty much like any show tune written by Stephen Schwartz, any like Phantom of the Opera song, just like a lot of useless show tune lyrics live in this noggin. So we'll say this.
If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Um, Probably I'd want to be one of those like weeping willow trees, but I feel like in reality I would be like, and you know what? No, I would be a eucalyptus. I'd want to be a eucalyptus tree because they remind me of Southern California, and I like using products that smell like eucalyptus. So I'm gonna say that.
What is the during this quarantine time? What is that go-to snack that you have that you're like, I want something, and that is the go-to snack during this quarantine?
Um, Cheese sticks, just like
Cheese
mozzarella
sticks.
cheese, like string cheese.
Oh, that is so good. I
I
love
know.
I love cheese, so I
Yeah, pretty much any sort of cheese, maybe accompanied with like a sweet Hawaiian roll on the side. Yeah,
ooh,
it's tasty.
ooh. And what is the go-to drink?
Diet Coke, always. I mean, I have one like waiting here just in case I got thirsty.
I don't know why I even asked because I knew
I
this.
know.
I knew this.
I know. Diet Coke is so good. It's bad.
um, so now we're talking about quarantine. How have you adapted? How were you affected by it with all of this is happening? Um, how have you adapted? What changed in your routine, your diet? Tell us about that.
hmm So, as of about a month ago, I was living in my apartment in New York City, and it kind of was like day by day, everything was changing. And then we kind of knew that by the time that Broadway shows were shutting down, then we would probably be asked to work remotely, because we were like really in the thick of it. Like I worked a couple blocks from Times Square in the middle of New York City. Like it was just getting a little bit scary. And then it happened where they were like, we're going to have you work from home for the next month. And so I was like, I'm just going to take my car because my car was in New Jersey. And I was like, I'm just going to drive to Florida because I can't be cooped up in my like tiny Manhattan apartment for a month. Like I was like, this is not going to work. So I ended up like driving down just by myself. I like stopped in North Carolina for the night, and just came on down. And so I've been at my mom's house, which has been a big adjustment because I actually like haven't lived at my mom's house for this long since high school. Like I like, as soon as I went to college, then I like moved out, and like so I'm back home for the first time in 5-6 years. And so that's just kind of like getting used to that all over again. Um and then I was told last week that like my hours are being cut in half, so I'm going down to part-time. So all that, income that I was depending on having, I don't have half that now, so I have to kind of like figure out what I'm gonna do. Like I'm filing for like unemployment assistance and like getting the stimulus money and like figuring out what this means for like when I'm ever gonna be able to like go back to New York. And it's just like all of these things. It just like kind of gave me like an appreciation for stability because I don't have that anymore. You know what I mean? Like I just don't have any sort of certainty about like how things are ever going to be. So it's just been kind of like crazy, and I'm just like struggling to keep up really with all the changes that are happening. But like, I mean, I have to be thankful that like I have a place to stay that's not in the city, and I, I'm like healthy, and I'm getting groceries, and like I have a nice place to be in Florida. I'm home. So I'm definitely thankful, but also stressed and worried.
If you could give an advice to someone that is going through something similar, and it's going, well, we're all going through this, but is going through something similar to what you're going through, what would you say?
I mean, I would just say like that there is going to be an end of this, and that's something that I've had to like tell myself to believe and get behind. But like this is going to end, and we are going to get back to a lot of the things that we enjoyed before. Like, and yeah, our lives may look different after this, but like we're gonna have learned so much from this experience that like whatever we do after this is going to be colored by the wisdom that we're already just kind of absorbing in this moment. So yeah, like we're gonna get past this eventually.
And with those words, we move on to our next question. What is the most valuable thing you own? Sentimental value, money-wise, monetary value. I mean, like, what is the most valuable thing you possess?
I think like, I mean, money wise, it'd probably have to be like, I mean, well, I mean, if you think about it, really, my education was probably the most expensive thing that I have. You know, but I mean, I own my own car, so that's probably like the biggest like single thing. And sentimental wise, it's weird because I have a lot of things that I've just kind of saved over the last few years. I have these like boxes of just
boxes, like, yes.
Yeah, like letters and like pictures and ticket stubs and playbills and like, yeah, my like playbill collection is one of those things. I'm like, if this apartment ever burns, get my playbill collection. So things like that, I think like those are the things that I don't really like to hang on to objects too much. But I will say like little things that can remind me of a time and a place, I'll keep and hang on to. So I would say like my boxes.
Do you want to know something funny? The next question was, what do you collect? Is there anything to collect? But you answered that one already.
Yeah, like playbills, but like only from shows that I've seen. So
that's important because some people just get them.
Mm-hmm, right. I was like, maybe I should start selling some of these, and I was like, no.
What fiction character scares you the most?
Ooh.
For me, it would be Freddy Krueger because I feel like, why would you create a character that targets teenagers when they're most vulnerable? That is when they're asleep, and attack them when they're in their dreams. They're helpless.
I mean, there's so many like really scary, like, it's weird because so I love scary movies. I mean, we went to Halloween Horror Nights together, so you know, like I love all things scary.
I don't. You know that. I don't.
So like I love scary things, but I'm only scared by like specific things, like, you know, like kind of like serial killers and zombies and stuff. Like they're not as scary. I mean, I always am scared by like the demon movies. I don't know, like anything like religious and spiritual like really scares me. But like I don't know. I mean, Freddy Krueger is a good one. But I would like, I'm thinking like Disney villains, like Frollo from Hunchback.
Ooh.
He's like terrifying.
You know why he's terrifying? Because it's possible. He could be an person. I think that's why. Same. I have the same feeling about Mother Gothel. It's my favorite villain, but when I say favorite, it's because it's the one villain that I would be like, this is something that could happen. Someone could kidnap a kid and just keep it for its own, you know.
Yeah. It's like, it's hard to decide because I feel like there's so many scary, messed up people like in real life that I'm like way more scared of.
But for me it would be Mother Gothel and Frollo. Yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah, and like he really could exist. I mean, there are people that think like that, so.
If animals could talk, which one would you think would be the most rude animal?
I mean, cats, right? Like, cats are mean. But also maybe, like, pigeons. Like, I feel like pigeons would be really ill-mannered.
Can you imagine just a pigeon actually talking to you?
Oh, God, I would hate it.
And being like, hey, you, hey. So well, can you imagine that? That would be so annoying.
Yeah. And then you'd be like, no, you can't have this food. They would just, like, tear it into you.
Yeah. Once they start like swearing at you, it would be a whole other level.
Yeah.
I think for nightmares. What's the weirdest thing you have done on a date?
I don't think. I mean, I like to say I don't want to be that person to be like, I didn't do anything weird. It's not me, it's you.
I mean, not necessarily something weird that happened. It could be, something No, it cannot. It doesn't have to be something weird you did. It could be something that happened that it was funny, unusual.
I'm like scared I'm like gonna give incriminating things out into the world.
Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to answer.
I
Let's
was like, I'll DM you later.
next. What is something you failed at? It could be something big or something small.
Failed. Um, let's see. What did I fail at? Um, hmm. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Probably like I feel like I'm like I set goals for myself all the time and I don't ever like follow through on them. Like I'm always like, "Oh, you're not going to drink as much Diet Coke." And then I like do anyway, or like you're going to like pay off all of these things on your credit card, and then I'm just like, I'll get around to it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a lot of things that like I could be doing better and just like setting personal goals for myself that I never follow through with. I've like definitely failed on like keeping in touch with people that I've like said, oh, you're gonna keep in touch with this person, and that's always kind of like a bummer. Um, so I don't know. I would say like just like keeping myself accountable all the time is something I like need to be better at.
If you were on a shipwreck on a deserted island, but food and water were taken care of, so you don't have to worry about that, what two items would you want to have with you?
Um, I would probably say a toothbrush because I feel like there'd be no way I can make like the equivalent. Can I lump that into like a dental hygiene kit?
Yes.
Okay, dental hygiene kit. Um, and then probably a bed. Because again, you can't make something like as comfortable as a bed in the wilderness.
And since you have food and water taken care of,
I feel
just
like,
something else to do during the day, but you have your bed and you have your
and
like
I can just
stuff.
sleep.
If you could pick up the phone right now and call one person, living or dead, who would it be?
Um, I mean, probably my dad. I mean, my dad passed away, so like, if I could just pick up the phone and be like, have a conversation, that's probably what I would choose.
What are you curious about right now?
I'm curious as to when, like, what the implications of this entire pandemic are going to be, and what the future is going to look like for so many people who like are dealing with such uncertain things right now. So I think that's what I'm really curious about. I want to see like how this is going to affect us in like a couple months to years and years from now, because I keep seeing all these kind of humorous tweets and things about like, oh, we're going to be that generation that talks about this pandemic as if it were the Great Depression that we lived through, and we're going to do all these weird things, and our grandkids are going to be like, why are you doing that, you know? So I think I'm just curious about all that.
Um, would you rather not shower for a week or eat the same meal for a week?
Eat the same meal for a week.
You would,
For
would
sure.
you really?
I would rather eat the same meal for a week than not shower for a week. Yeah.
I mean, makes
If I
sense.
could,
I've done it because when I meal prepped, I would eat the same thing for like 5, 6
yeah.
in a row. But if I could choose, well, no, now that I think about
It,
it, no,
there's a lot of depending factors here.
yeah.
Like, is this a quarantine week where I'm not going to be leaving my house? Maybe. Or, like, is the meal like a crappy meal or is it a really good meal? Like, if I could eat, like, you know, a hamburger and french fries or whatever, like, that's,
if
or a
I could
pasta bowl or something.
if I could eat pizza, but different styles of pizza, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Um, so what movie or show would you recommend?
Um, so I mean, again, like I have the attention span of like a squirrel. I cannot pay attention to movies, cannot pay attention to TV. So that being said, I have not watched too much. I think like I followed award season pretty well. So I like to see movies in the movie theater because it's the only way that I can focus. So I saw a lot of really, really good movies. And I thought Jojo Rabbit was one of my favorites of the season. So I would recommend Jojo Rabbit. I think it won a couple awards, but I think like it deserved a couple more in certain categories. And TV show that I would recommend. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend House if you haven't seen it. I think pretty much everyone's seen it. I just watched Tiger King too, so I feel like
I
it
have
made
not
me
seen
feel,
it.
See, that's the thing. It made me feel like so much more connected to the world in a time where like I have so little human interaction. So I feel like just so that you can understand what the internet is talking about, it's worth a watch.
Okay, this one. Who would win in a fight? The cast from Rent or the cast from Heathers?
Oh, I think Heather's probably. And when I say that, like I feel like the cast of Rent looks tough and they have that kind of like tough exterior, but I feel like the Heather's cast can really put up a good fight.
I feel like the Heathers, the difference is the Heathers cast will get shit done.
Right.
They
And
will
then
do it. They will do it.
like
And
the Rent cast is too sensitive.
that is true. That is true. So what is one hilarious childhood memory you have?
Um So we basically, I mean, I didn't do this. This is like a memory that I have of my brother doing something really funny. So my brother's 2 years younger than me. So when he was in preschool, he he used to kind of just like make up these random lies and tell his teacher these like weird stories. And he told his preschool teacher that he was born in a cave in the Philippines.
What?
And not like in San Diego, California, where he was like actually born. And so for some reason, like we used to just like bring it up all the time, obviously. And my brother would get so mad because like, I mean, I don't know where he got this lie. I don't know why he said it, but like he didn't even really remember that he had said it because he was in preschool.
What
But
preschooler comes up with that?
Right, that's the thing. It's like it's so hilariously far fetched, and we would just be like, "Yeah, do you remember that time that you told your your preschool teacher that you were born in a cave in the Philippines?" And then he would just be like, "Shut up!" Like he gets so mad.
I would never let it go. I would never let it.
It's so funny, but he would get so irrationally angry because, like, if it were me, I'd be like, "Oh, that was crazy." Like, that's a weird thing to say, you know. But he would get so mad, and I think that's like why we did it. We just like kept bringing it up more. We also used to like scare each other in the house, so it was like Halloween Horror Nights, but all the time.
Oh no.
So we used to like just wait because we had like in our house we had like a hallway that kind of was like a bendy, twisty. There was a lot of corners involved, so we just like wait until someone came out of the bathroom and just like pop out and scare them. I think that was pretty funny. I always thought it was kind of funny.
I like those videos when people do that, but I hate when someone does that to me because I get angry. I get angry. I get embarrassed, and when I get embarrassed, I get angry for some reason. I'm like, don't talk to me.
And then I end up crying.
Yeah, probably.
Same.
I get you more than many people know that I get scared very easily. I visit to Halloween Horror Nights, screaming my heart out every time.
That was so fun, though.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Would you rather have 100 kittens or 3 baby sloths?
Probably the sloth, because I feel like 100 baby kittens would be a little too much. Like, I love kittens, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the sloths would be easier to take care of, maybe. And they'd be cute.
3. It's 3 of them.
I know, that is kind of a lot. Maybe
It's
I'm like really not educated in the like how hard it is to take care of a sloth. But
Um, what's the most ridiculous goal you have in life? For example, my most ridiculous goal in life is to do the split. I don't know how to do that. Like,
yeah,
I am not that flexible. I need to stretch for that.
right. Like, I mean, sometimes I wish I could like be on Broadway. You know, I feel like being like a Broadway star or like being a movie star or being like really famous, or even just like having an absurd amount of money. Like all these things that like are probably never gonna happen. Like I'd be like, you know, like I wish I had a yacht. No, you know what? A weird thing is that I've always wanted, for some inexplicable reason, I've always just wanted one of those like giant like showers that takes up like an entire room.
Ooh,
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I don't know, I've just always wanted like a really, really nice giant shower. So I would say probably that. But that might actually happen. I don't know. One day.
It could. It could. It's a goal. If you say
Fingers crossed.
out there, it could happen.
One day.
Um, if you could have any superpower, which one would it be and why?
I would probably like probably like either teleporting or telekinesis. But like I would let's say teleporting. And here's why. Because I feel like if I had telekinesis, I would really just like be lazy and I would just like not get up to get the remote or something like stupid like that. Whereas like if I had teleportation, then I would actually like go places and see the world. So we'll say that. We'll say teleportation. Or like shape-shifting. Oh my god, there's so many.
Oof.
Shape-shifting.
Okay,
Really
I
good.
forgot about that one. That would be. Wait. Shape shifting into animals or people?
But I mean both, but people, really. Because think about
Good.
like you could do so much if you could just look like I don't know, like someone else whenever you wanted to. I don't
That would
know.
be insane. That would be
But
insane.
I would say probably teleportation. Or yeah.
Teleportation for me, it would be like to travel in time. I would go to the past.
Ooh.
I would go to the past and like not the far, like all the way into the past. I would not change anything too far back. But if it's like last week, I would change some things about last week. So I know I can change my outcome this week. Some
Okay. Yeah.
I would change that. But if I could go back in time and relive a memory or a moment in life, I would also be able to do that. That's what I would want to do. There's some moments in life that you would like to relive, and I like to go through it, the whole experience again. And I would not change a thing. If I was sad, if I was happy, I would not change a thing. But sure,
Yeah. I feel like I'd be so anxious if I had to go back in time because of the whole like butterfly effect. They're like, if you sneeze, then this happens, and like World War III breaks out. Like I'd be so stressed.
I mean, yeah.
Like would I have loved to like see the Beatles at Shea Stadium? Yeah, that would have been awesome. But like, you know what I mean?
or or something that would be amazing is to have like a time turner, like Hermione.
Yeah, no, like it just like to be able to control it and not mess anything up really bad.
Yeah, it would be like, yes, you will change some things, but your life course stays the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Be amazing.
I think that would be fun. That'd be cool.
So if you could ask anyone from the past, now we're talking about the past, if you could talk to anyone, any figure, if you can ask for advice, have a conversation, living or a dead person in the past, who would it be? And what would you ask?
Um, wow. Let's see. So if I were to go into the past, ask for advice. I would probably like go. Oh my goodness, this is so hard. I'm the most indecisive person. There's so many like really like I don't want to say something frivolous. I want to
No,
say something really
you do,
profound.
you do you. You do you.
I mean, I think I would like want to go back in time and ask advice from um like oh my gosh. I'm So maybe like, no, I have nothing's coming to mind. I have no clue. Tell me yours.
Mine would be Walt Disney.
That's a good one.
I have a lot of questions regarding like how did you persevere? Why didn't you give up? What made you stay, like keep fighting? And where did all that creativity come from? What were you thinking when everything happened? How did you feel when everything exploded the way it did? All those little things that no one knows how he felt.
Uh-huh.
He was always on to the next thing. So I have seen some interviews, but he never says like, oh, this is how I felt when we opened Disneyland. No, he said, this is a place for everyone, blah, blah, blah. But how did you feel? When you sat home after the grand opening, how did you feel about, he was probably very stressed.
Right.
That kind of thing. That's who I would visit. One of the people that I would visit.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's such a good one. I mean, I would probably like want to talk to, I mean, my whole world, like everything I kind of like work on and like and listen to like has to do with like theater and Broadway. So like, I mean, maybe just kind of going back and like to some of those big figures that, kind of started theater and made it what it is now, like Rodgers and Hammerstein or something, and be like, sit down and be like, how did you come up with this song? Or like sit down with Stephen Sondheim and be like, how did you write this? What did you think? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like maybe one of those like big theater figures I would want to talk to.
And to wrap this all up, that one quote that comes to mind that is your life motto, or that one quote that never leaves your head.
I mean, I feel like that the quote, like, imagination is more important than knowledge. That one I always really liked. And I think it just like, to me, I've always kind of just thought of myself as someone who's like obedient smart and not creative smart, I guess. And so I've always kind of wanted to be that person that just like thinks very creatively and like can think of solutions to problems that we haven't even thought of yet. So just like knowing, like, I think just keeping in your mind that like everyone has their strengths and their way of learning, and just to remember to keep thinking creatively. I think that's what it would be.
Well, and on that note, thank you so much for your time.
Sorry, I like blanked on so many things.
Oh, no, don't worry. No, don't worry at all. Don't worry. We're here to have a conversation. That happens all the time. My head goes, me, and my head goes everywhere when we're having a conversation. Just like these questions, they go left from right. But thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
Much for saying yes.
Of course. I mean, what else am I gonna do?
We have nothing else to
do.
Oh.
Bye.
Thanks for watching until the end. If you want to be part of one of these videos and have a conversation with me, or you have questions for me, just contact me on Instagram. And with that said, have a good day, good night, have a good morning. Thanks for watching.